Welcome to the first lecture of the complete Fiverr Masterclass. In this video, I would like to explain what Fiverr is all about, and I want to show you in the second part of this video how to find your niche on Fiverr. Now, generally speaking, on Fiverr, you should not necessarily charge, let's say, thousands and thousands of dollars for your services. There are some instances where people actually do that, but in most instances, it would be the best advice from you to me to actually not charge $1,000 or $2,000 or $10,000 for your services, but rather to charge a lot less. Now, the first question, of course, that you might have is what exactly can I charge for on Fiverr? Well, literally any kind of service, any kind of freelancing work that you do. Of course, there are some limits to this, but you can basically figure out what could be yours by just going right here and by checking out all the different kinds of niches that Fiverr is offering. Now, you can do that on your own, just to be sure. You can, of course, come up with your own ideas. You don't necessarily have to look at these and say, well, my idea is not there. You can still, upload such a gig and, charge for something that came to your mind. But of course, it should make sense. It should make sense for other people to buy this. And generally speaking, it should also be part of any of these niches up here. So it should be part of the graphics and design niche, digital marketing niche, writing and translation, video and animation, music and audio, programming and tech, business, lifestyle, and industries. Now on Fiverr, there's a lot of competition, but when I look back in time, what I see is this. Like when I started out on Fiverr, I think around 4.5 years ago, there was, I thought, a lot of competition. But now when I look at Fiverr, I'm thinking right now, oh, there's a lot of competition. And the same thing will apply to you when you look back in, let's say, 4.5, 5 years time. You will look back to this moment in time right now, and you're going to say, well, there was very little competition on this platform at that time because competition just increases over time on successful platforms such as Fiverr. So the first thing that we got to make sure is that you find your freelancing niche. The first thing that you, of course, should ask yourself is what are you able to do? Not necessarily what do you want to do, but what are you able to do? We're not speaking about what you would like to do or what you could perhaps do, but what can you do? What are you able to do right now? Can you, for instance, offer logo services? Then can you create a website for someone else? Are you great at writing books? Are you great at formatting books? What exactly can you do that we can sell to other people? Then, of course, the second question is, what do you feel passionate about? Because if, for instance, you say yourself, well, I can do a couple of things. I can write books, I can do proofreading, I can translate, I can perhaps, do copywriting. These are the 4 things that I'm passionate about, or these are the things that I can do, but I'm only passionate about one thing, and that is writing books. So maybe what you should do is you should go with your passion. Generally speaking, also on Fiverr, it makes sense to go with something that you're passionate about because you will spend a lot of time on that one thing. So if you're not passionate about, let's say, translating or anything else, but you're passionate about that one thing, rather stick to that one thing, even though perhaps there's a bit more competition in that field. Stick to it because you're going to spend a lot of time, you're going to do a lot of work here on Fiverr, and it makes sense to just go with something that you like instead of something that perhaps you're able to do, but that you don't like. Now, of course, you should feel passionate about something that you're able to do. Like, don't get me wrong, don't just say, well, I'm passionate about creating logos, but you don't know how to create a logo. Then number 3 is how can you differentiate yourself from the crowd of freelancers? Make sure that you offer something that other people are not offering. Well, first of all, you could, for instance, offer a lower price. You could say, well, I'm offering something that is cheaper than of my competition. You can offer greater service. You can, for instance, deliver a better product. Think about how you can differentiate yourself from other freelancers here on this platform. Then, of course, is it worth for you? Because on Fiverr, you're going to do a lot of work. You're going to spend a lot of time here. I know freelancers on Fiverr that make around $5,000 or $6,000 per month, which is, quite a lot of money for most people on Fiverr. And also on Fiverr, there are some people, as far as I know, that make more than 10 grand, but there are very, very few people that actually make this much. So if you, for instance, already run your own agency, or if you have, let's say, some kind of other business that you're running, think about whether it actually makes sense for you to go on Fiverr and to sell on Fiverr, because maybe it does not. Like 3-4 grand, if that is not a lot for you, then maybe the time that you must invest in Fiverr in order to get to this point might not be worth for you. Then number 5, is your price point adequate for Fiverr? And this is the question that I think we already answered in the beginning. Like if, for instance, you say, well, I only want to create logos for at least $1,000 because you're very, very professional and you think it is worth it, then maybe Fiverr is not the right place for you. You can still try, like always try, but maybe it's not the right place for you. So what you got to think about is your price actually adequate for Fiverr? Are people actually likely to buy from you when you're charging this kind of price? When you answer all of these 5 questions, you probably found your niche on Fiverr, but also at the same time, you probably found out for yourself whether Fiverr is for you or not. But alright, that was it now here for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope we can see each other in the next one.